I remember the first day I walked into New Alexandra Hospital, the scent of antiseptic sharp in my nostrils. The building was an ancient remnant from World War II, or so it'd been told. My name is Nicholas and I was the newest member of the small staff tasked with maintaining the clinic. Before we begin this tale, remember to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow. Now, the tale of New Alexandra Hospital. Jake, my only colleague, greeted me with a wide grin and with an enthusiastic handshake. "Welcome to the team," he exclaimed, his cheerfulness almost too bright for the dimly lit corridors of the hospital. "Let's get you started on the checklist." The checklist. It was infamous among the staff. A series of instructions that seemed both mundane and strangely specific. Jake handed me a clipboard with the list, his expression turning slightly more serious. It might seem a bit strange at first, but you'll get used to it. As I scanned the checklist, I could not help but frown. Tasks like sanitizing tables and medical equipment were expected, but other instructions were baffling. Arranging items in an exact manner, leaving objects in seemingly random places, and opening and closing doors at precise times. Jake noticed my confusion and clapped a hand on my shoulder. "Don't worry about it. This place is old and these procedures have been around since the war. They might not make much sense, but we just follow them." I nodded, trying to push aside my unease. My first task was to sanitize the tables and medical equipment. A straightforward start. As I wiped down the surfaces, I noticed how eerily quiet the clinic was. The only sound was the squeak of my cloth against the metal. Next on the list was arranging the items in the storage room. Everything had to be placed in a particular order. Syringes next to bandages, gauze next to antiseptic. I followed the instructions meticulously, yet I could not shake the feeling of being watched. Every so often I'd glance over my shoulder, but the room remained empty. As the day progressed, the tasks grew stranger. One instruction required me to leave a stethoscope on the windowsill in room 8B. Another asked me to open and close the door to the staff room at exactly 2:15 p.m. I hesitated, feeling foolish as I performed these seemingly pointless actions. Jake noticed my hesitation and chuckled. "I know it's weird, but trust me, there's nothing to worry about. Just a little bit of an old superstition." But as the hours passed, I began to notice odd occurrences. At first, it was small things. A door that I had left closed would be open, or a chair would be slightly out of place. Then, as I was placing a thermometer in an unlikely spot in the hallway, I heard a soft whisper behind me. I spun around, but no one was there. My heart pounded as I tried to rationalize the sound. It must have been the wind, or perhaps my imagination playing tricks on me. By the time I reached the task of opening and closing doors at specific intervals, the sense of unease had grown. Each creak of the hinges seemed louder, echoing through the empty halls. As I shut the door to the staff room for the third time, I caught a glimpse of a shadow moving just beyond the corner of my eye. "Jake," I called out, my voice trembling. He appeared almost instantly, his cheerful demeanor faltering slightly when he saw my pale face. "Have you ever noticed anything, strange while doing these tasks?" He hesitated, then gave me a reassuring smile. "It's an old building, Nick. There's bound to be some odd noises and creaky floors. Don't let it get to you." But his words did little to calm my nerves. As the day wore on, the occurrences became more frequent. I would leave an item in one place, only to find it moved when I returned. Doors that I had secured would swing open on their own. And always, there was that faint whisper just beyond the edge of hearing. By the time I reached the final task on the checklist, I was on edge. It was nearly midnight and the instruction was simple. Leave a tray of surgical tools in the operating room and lock the door. I did as I was told, my hands shaking as I turned the key in the lock. As I walked away, I heard a soft click behind me. The door which I had just locked was ajar. My breath caught in my throat as I approached it, heart hammering in my chest. I pushed the door open slowly, peering into the dark room. Inside, the surgical tools were arranged in a perfect macabre display, each one gleaming under the pale moonlight filtering through the window. And there, standing in the corner, was a shadowy figure, its eyes glowing faintly. I stumbled back, slamming the door shut and running down the hallway. Jake found me moments later, breathless and shaking. I told him what I'd seen, expecting him to laugh it off. But he didn't. Instead, his face grew serious, and he nodded slowly. "You've seen them then," he said quietly. "The spirits of those who once worked here. They've never left." From that night on, the checklist was more than just a series of tasks. It was a ritual. a way to keep the restless spirits at bay. And as I continued my work at New Alexandra Hospital, I learned to respect the shadows that lingered in the corners. Always watching, always waiting. And so every day, I followed the checklist without question. Because in this old hospital, some things are better left undisturbed. Thank you for listening to this tale. Consider leaving a like and subscribe, and remember to hit the bell icon for more videos to keep you up at night. For more scary stories, click the video on the screen right now.